I have observed wars that burned galaxies to ash. I have seen empires collapse because someone, somewhere, misfiled a treaty. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the day a human infantry soldier accidentally fell in love with a space dragon, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. His name was Elias Ward, a professional bad idea generator who also happened to be a good soldier. This mostly meant he survived long enough to develop humor as a defense mechanism and insomnia as a lifestyle. He didn't believe in fate, prophecy, or reptiles larger than frigates that could bend spacetime. This particular belief lasted right up until the moment he was pinned to alien ground by a glowing dragon claw, the famed claw declined in law, the size of a small shuttle. Staring down at him with molten gold eyes was Lady Astralix of the starbound lineage, warden of the fracture, daughter of the eternal flame. She was beautiful in the way gravity is beautiful, unstoppable, and awe-inspiring. "Human," she said, her voice a low rumble, "state your purpose." Elias, because survival instincts sometimes disguise themselves as sheer stupidity, replied, "I'm guessing tourism was the wrong answer." She did not kill him. This was her first mistake. Astra had guarded worlds for over 3,000 years. She had seen civilizations rise, fall, and reinvent pants in increasingly questionable ways. But humans, they were new. Loud, emotional, and fragile in a way that somehow didn't make them weak. Elias fascinated her. He joked while injured. He argued while afraid. Most importantly, he treated her a cosmic being of immense power like a person, which, as it turns out, is devastating to an immortal's composure. I'll skip several weeks of philosophical debates, cultural misunderstandings, and one rather awkward incident involving Elias asking if dragons liked music. They do, but apparently not his taste. Somewhere between shared stargazing and defending the planet from a very confused human fleet, Astra fell in love. She didn't call it that, of course. Dragons have many words for devotion, bonding, soul entanglement. Humans have one word and 1,000 bad poems. Elias used the word. Astra pretended not to understand it. She understood it perfectly. And here is where this story almost becomes tragic. Elias aged. Astra did not. When Elias collapsed during a battle not dead, just. Human Astra nearly burned an entire fleet out of existence in her grief and rage. Instead, she did something unprecedented. She brought him home, to her mother. Now, this is where the real story begins. Her name was Vaelthera, ancient, vast, absolutely terrifying. She was Astra's mother, an elder dragon whose wings could eclipse continents and whose humor had been sharpened over 10,000 years of existence. She took one long, slow look at Elias, paused, then said, "That's it." Elias, standing at full military attention despite being approximately the size of one of her teeth, managed to say, "Yes, ma'am?" Astra just groaned. Vaelthera began to circle him, slowly, like a mountain deciding whether or not to step on you. "This," she said to Astra, her voice dripping with disbelief, "is the fragile mammal you bonded with." "He is not fragile," Astra snapped back. Elias coughed. "I mean, I am, emotionally, physically, spiritually." Vaelthera laughed. The sound shook the sky. "Oh, I like him." This terrified Elias more than anything else she could have possibly said. The inevitable marriage discussion came. Dragons mate rarely. When they do, it is forever. Valthera leaned down until her massive eye filled Elias's entire field of vision. "You will die," she said, not as a threat, but as a simple, unchangeable fact. "Yes," Elias agreed. "You will break my daughter's heart." "Yes," he agreed again, his voice softer this time. "And you still choose her?" For the first time, Elias didn't joke. "I choose the time I get," Valthera hummed, a sound like grinding consonants. "Fine, but if you hurt her, I will resurrect you just to kill you again." Astra kissed him then, and I looked away. I am not paid enough to witness that. The wedding was unconventional. It was held on a floating continent, witnessed by the stars themselves, with vows spoken in fire, breath, and trembling human words. Elias wore his dress uniform. Astra wore her true form, radiant, cosmic, infinite. When Elias finally said, "I do," Valthera muttered, just loud enough for everyone to hear, "He is very small." And then they had children, 4 of them. Because the universe, it seems, has a wicked sense of humor. There was Lyrax with wings, sarcasm, and Elias's eyes. Siren, who was human-shaped but had a dragon's temper. Kaya, a fire-breathing, book-loving menace. And Orin, quiet and glowing, who watched the threads of probability itself. Valthera adored them. She taught them ancient songs and cosmic truths. She taught Elias absolutely nothing except profound humility. She gave him nicknames like Little Flame, Mortal Hazard, and my personal favorite, Emergency Snack, said with affection, of course. She defended him fiercely and mocked him relentlessly. When he began to age, she subtly slowed time around their home. When he worried, she reminded him, "You are temporary." That is what makes you precious. Elias grew old. Astra stayed. Their children grew strong. When Elias finally lay down for the last time beneath the stars, Astra curled around him, her great wings shielding him from the cold. Valthera watched from a distance, silent. When he passed, she whispered, so softly only the wind could hear, "He did well." And as the stars burned on, Astra was not alone. Because love, it turns out, doesn't require eternity. It only requires a choice. I have seen gods fall. I have watched sons die. But I have never, ever seen anything braver than a human soldier choosing to love a dragon, knowing exactly how it would end. And somehow, that made it eternal. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more stories.